My name is Jerry Pedinati. I'm a center specialist with the CTE Technical Assistance Center of New York, and this is a demonstration of the CTE TAC's Regional Occupational Projections Database utility. The utility can be accessed at the TAC's homepage. It is under the Planning drop-down menu. Scroll down right here. And this is the Regional Occupational Projections Database homepage. The utility has two primary functions. Generally speaking, the first one allows a user to research the long-term occupational outlook for a specific CTE program in a school district or BOCES. And the second function is to investigate the long-term employment trends within a region for a specific industry cluster or career cluster that you want to investigate. This will drive potential new CTE initiatives in a school or BOCES. We'll do a demonstration of each one of those functions. We can access the utility by clicking the button at the bottom of the previous page. So let's say we want to look at the long-term occupational outlook for the electricians program in Rockland County BOCES. Rockland County is in the lower Hudson region of New York State. And after clicking Lower Hudson, we will see all of the school districts and BOCES within that region. Rockland County is right there and towards the bottom. And we want to find electricians. And we have to scroll through all of their approved programs to find the one we want. Here it is. We click search. And what will appear are the New York State Department of Labor's long-term occupational outlook data for electricians, as well as a lot of related occupations in the architecture and construction career cluster. We have to scroll down a little bit probably to find it. There it is. There may be some related occupations that we want to investigate as well, but we will keep it with electricians. We see electricians shows up here along with the related occupations. And first, we will see the growth data as we scroll down for electricians. Again, this is from the New York State Department of Labor. In 2018, there were 4,460 electricians jobs in the lower Hudson region. By 2028, they anticipate more than 5,000. That's a net change of 570. And that equates to a percentage growth change of nearly 13%. So pretty favorable outlooks for that occupation. Students in the electricians program in Rockland BOCES can see the anticipated median annual salary that they can expect in that region, nearly $70,000. As an entry-level employee, it'll be about $20,000 less, but an experienced electrician can anticipate to make well into six figures. Again, you can see related occupations. Some of these occupations there may or may not be programs for as well. So a lot of good information here provided by the state. Further down, we see the education data required to work in that occupation. The first column, typical education needed for entry-level work. Whether or not there's experience in a related occupation required, not typically for electricians or other construction and extraction occupations. On the job training needed, apprenticeship, moderate on the job training. Yeah, you would expect that. For electricians, you can see like some apprenticeship is required. most people who work in the electrician's field, the most common type of education is a high school diploma or equivalent. Further down, and finally, we see what the New York State employment prospect is for these occupations. For electricians, it's very favorable across the state, and nearly 10% growth expected. So electrician graduate from Rockland BOCES could probably find gainful employment anywhere within the state. Now let's do a completely different search. We go back to results. And this time we're going to toggle to labor market data for a specific cluster of occupations within a career cluster. Let's look at engineering or engineers in the Western New York region. And then, if we want to consider starting a engineering CTE program in one of the districts or BOCES in Western New York, this data could be very helpful in informing that. Engineers would be scientific research and engineering. Click that button. We can toggle or we can select the amount of growth in jobs in that region if we choose to. Let's look at jobs or engineering jobs in the Western New York region that have greater than 10% growth anticipated by 2028. Search. And a list of about 20 occupations appears. Several of them are engineers, some are scientists, microbiologists, statisticians. So this is a career cluster list of results. But we do want to look at engineers specifically. So let's choose civil engineers. If we choose civil engineers, we will see other related engineers as well. So we're not just limited to that. And the list will show chemical, civil, electrical engineers, industrial engineers, all other engineers. So we get the New York State data for this group of occupations. Civil engineers specifically, in 2018, there was just over 1,000. By 2028, there will be 120 more anticipated jobs in Western New York, and that's a 12% net growth for civil engineers, which seems like it's a little bit higher than most other engineering professions in Western New York other than chemical. Here's the wage data for civil engineers. In Western New York, an entry-level employee or an entry-level civil engineer can anticipate to make more than $60,000. The median annual for civil engineers is $86,000 almost, and an experienced civil engineer can make more than $100,000 anticipated in Western New York. The education required to be a civil engineer typically is bachelor's degree for entry level, and that is the most common level of education attained for civil engineers. Stays at bachelor's. And at the bottom of the page, we see the employment prospects for civil engineers across the state. Again, it's very favorable. 12.5% growth anticipated against New York. So that is a job that is in demand throughout the state, it seems. Now, the information in this database is updated as new data becomes available. The New York State Department of Labor updates their long-term occupational outlooks every 2 years. So look for the 2020 to 2030 range to be included here by the end of the year or early next year. I hope you found this demonstration helpful and informative. Thank you very much.